Why, hello. Hello, hi. It is me, Razai, small town Didi, your Khadi on these very internet. Akastrach, I am back. Hello, Yella. One of you who adores me was like, Khadi, like, why don't you just do like voiceovers? Since I said the whole setting up the thing, I've been doing this for, guys, it drains me. It literally knocks the wind out of me. I don't enjoy it at all. Setting up all of this stuff. I don't enjoy shooting. Like I don't enjoy setting. I don't. But let's get into this. I'm recording this for a second time because my camera fucked me over yesterday. Okay, but how you doing? Let's talk about old Miss Wendy and her son who has us stuck in a conservatorship. Well done, Calvin Jr. Okay, doing great, honey. Seriously. And really, we like to have a broader conversation. We want to have the conversations about, the boy moms, the moms and their boys, how we raise the boys and how we end up in these kinds of situations. And it's not to take away any kind of responsibility or blame from Kevin and how he's handled his mother. Wendy Williams has had a tough time since her divorce, really, and a decline in her health and career and all of that stuff. But like, we still love her. Like all the time, I tell you, I sit here because of Wendy. And whenever a person is like relatively new to the channel, they've even heard me say it before in previous videos. They're like, I could tell because I love that, right? The influence is so real. That's an influence, okay? But a, a lot happened after her divorce, and now she's been in a conservatorship for I think a year or two. And she did an interview or a documentary style kind of thing, or more an interview with TMZ, where she explains that what we all suspected. I remember when this started happening, the her accounts being flagged by her bank for irregular kind of withdrawals and things like that. We were all like, is it her or is it that son of hers that she adores and like the whole world is him and he is the world? And granted, he's the only one, but also he's a boy. We can't get away from that. We cannot get away from that. Um, her accounts got flagged by her bank, and after all of that, they, people swoop in and see an opportunity to take advantage of a person, as they did with Britney Spears. And she's finding herself now in a conservatorship, and she's telling TMZ, my son is like, ultimately what was responsible for this was my son being reckless with my money and my accounts because he had access to them now. And from what it's being alleged, the young man was spending upwards of like 20K on Uber Eats. What are you eating, Calvin? The fuck are you eating, young man? Okay? I'm like, oh, he's just like his daddy, a fucking leech. But I'm sorry, that's a sign she loves him. We can't say that about him because she still says how much she adores him and stuff. Um, but then it to me it brought back to, things are always bringing things back to the fore for me. The obsession that Black mothers, and I think just like when I don't belong and I don't exist in white spaces, so to speak. A lot of the times when I say Black this and Black that, it's because that's my lens, right? That's the broader culture that I can speak to. But watching, just social media and TikTok in particular, I would say this is just a boy mom problem. I really would say this. The way we still cover it having a son, the way we still chase. I mean, I know women who've gone back and back and back again to the labor ward searching for a boy, and they keep coming up with girls and they don't like it and they're disappointed because a boy in this here, the year of our Lord 2025, 2024, even in the last couple of years, there's still people who are operating from the playbook that's what cements a marriage and that's what's going to grow the family and carry forward the legacy and the lineage and stuff. And I don't know how many times we need to explain that it's a construct and you can construct something else. Ain't nobody gonna tell you shit. Nobody, people can say all the time that, oh, yeah, you may construct your own thing, but the broader society won't recognize it. There are a lot of you walking around here, um, using your mom's surnames and she's never changed her surname, and you are legitimate in your surname. You don't feel like you are not of this name. So it's just a lie. It's one more thing to add to bolster this patriarchy and have us groveling and running around begging men who don't deserve the sacrifice that is our identity for their surnames that are worth nothing, worth fucking foco. Like, I don't even understand that. So this idea that only your son can pass on your surname, what, like, does he have more DNA? Like, what is this? What is this? In fact, your son may be the one to end it. That motherfucker could be shooting blanks, and he could marry a girl who's gonna go and get pregnant by somebody else, right? Go and get pregnant by somebody else, and that baby have nothing to do with you and your fucking lineage that you're so stressed about. In fact, that's what often happens. Not often, but like, it happens. Do you understand what I'm saying? So this obsession with, I need a boy, I must have a boy, he needs an heir. There's no inheritance. There's never an inheritance. Yeah, like there's never anything. Yo, guys, yo, liambodara though. And how, like, in black and brown cultures especially, where especially in the ones where, like, these very staunch kind of patriarchal ideals, like what I've just been talking about, are still prevalent, you find their mothers like ill-treating their daughters and still expecting those same daughters to labor for them, right? I know the case where this I think they're Asian, this mom ill-treated her daughter. Her daughter had to be the one to, like, take care of her, nurse her, do all of that stuff. Her son didn't visit once, and she still left everything to the son because apparently that's how it's done. If that's how it's fucking done, his daddy should have left him that stuff. You're the woman, that's your stuff. You see how we bend the rules to make things make sense?
And this is a picture of my mom.
Ginny Lamb always knew her mother favored her older brother William and planned to leave him most of her assets.
My brother was the boy, and he was going to inherit. And I did question her, and I asked her, why is that? And she goes, well, because this is our Chinese custom, and everything goes to the boy.
And when her mom died in 2021, that's exactly what happened.
My brother got over 82% of her estate, and I got the difference of 18%.
Lamb was all but shut out, despite being her mother's primary caregiver in her final years. So she asked her brother,
how can you possibly say and feel okay with this just because you were born a boy? And he said, well, this is what mom wanted. And I said, I know this is what mom wanted, but you can change it. You have the power to change this. He goes, I'm not going to change it. And the last words he said to me was, lawyer up.
I mean, just like the leniency with which the boys are let to get away with stuff, and even like not performing certain duties in the home, not doing certain chores in the home. It's the little things that ultimately produce the type of son in adulthood who is not going to be compassionate, who's not going to care about you. He's a baby forever, right? Things are done for him. When your son is looking at his sisters or his cousins, and they're playing with dolls and stuff, and they are learning to nurture and be caring and be, gentle and considerate and pick up those skills of raising a person, and he says he wants one as well, and you get mad because that's some gay shit and whatever, don't be surprised at the end when he throws you in a home, or worse, when he just disappears and it leaves it up to somebody else to nurse and take care of you. Remember, that's some gay shit. He was never allowed to learn those things. And now, when you need him to have those skills to take care of you, to be compassionate, that characteristics that we deem to be feminine when they're just human, when we end up in these situations where your sons can't care for you, where you like, I don't know where he learned that from you. We talk all the time about how women do the bulk of the passing on of culture, the instilling of values and stuff, because you do the child rearing and all of that stuff, right? You are responsible to a degree. And I understand that once you're an adult, you can make your own rules, you can unlearn things and take things on. But if in the house there was a reinforcement of dominant cultures, the dominant patriarchal culture in the home, please do not be surprised when you've produced a son that gets you into a conservatorship. Like, and I'm not blaming Wendy for it at this point, but I'm also not shocked. When you hear about how she talks about her son and all of that stuff, me and my mom loves my brother. Like, we've always known he's the favorite. There's no way around it. It's not that deep for anybody. I mean, she remembers how much he weighed at birth. You can ask at any time of the night, and my mom would tell you how much her son weighed at birth. She doesn't know how much my sister and I weighed. He's the middle one. That's her son. Any other middle child will fall through the cracks, but that's a boy, right? All she ever says about my sister is like, "Oh, she's such a small baby. Yeah, she's not a big baby." And that I'm talking about this because we literally asked her 2 weeks ago. I was like to my brother, Mom remembers. He's like, yeah, I also know how much I weigh. We all fucking know how much you weighed at birth. That's all she talks about, okay? Like, seriously? Also, he got the gram wrong the last time, and baby, she almost bit his head off. Last time, she fake assigned me a number. Not even fake. She was like, no. She didn't assign me a number. She said, oh, you were also a big baby. Yeah, girl. Yeah, I've seen the pictures. You're also a big baby. I can show, madam. Yeah, a number. There's a number there because that's her son. That's what cemented her marriage for her. She gave this man, and my dad started having kids late in life, right? She gave this man a son, and oh my God, and it happened in my home as well. Like, even when she'd be like, pick up after yourself, do this and do that, it would be to a degree. When it wasn't being done, she wouldn't hound him about it. She wouldn't get after him about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I see him now as a grown man, and washing dishes is something you will never see him do. It's so optional, it's not even existing. Like, it's not existing. There's this video going viral now of this guy, and he's been eating takeouts for however long because he's single or whatever is going on.
Guys, being single is all fun and games until you have to live on takeaways every single day. This is my trash from the past 3, 4, I think 5 days. This is a chicken that I got, I think 3 days back, and I think it's spoiled, so I'm gonna throw it away. And this is what I had today. Steers. These burgers are great. Steers knows how to make burgers.
Not teaching your children basic things ends up in like basic survival things, but also basic human things, like how to be kind and considerate and caring and nurturing. Those are human things to teach your child. They are not gendered things to teach your child. If you want this person to turn out as like this particular way, you should start there. And it might still blow up in your face because they get out into the broader world and things happen and they're influenced by other things. But at least you can look back on it and know that you tried. We've seen it, guys. We've seen when the parents pass on in our communities and then the monies come out, the life policies, whatever, the things pay out. We've seen compare like boys and girls, and I'm not saying the girls don't get reckless, but we've seen how the boys blow through that money, right? Like how reckless they are with it. Like they immediately get a car or a bike or something, just completely reckless, right? Because they have no appreciation for your earnings and, the fact that you had to work hard to have these things. Calvin, who had a father in the home, has learned from his father in the home that this is okay. Mom is to this particular mom, this one, we use her. It's okay to use this mom for her money. While she's sick, I'll be part of the people that's taking advantage of my mom, me, her only child. Instead of being her protector, elbowing people out of the way, right? Being a freaking guard dog, teeth out all the time. So people understand that at her most vulnerable, they will not be able to take advantage of her. And what I don't know, I will put people in place who know, and they're going to help me through it. No, he learned from his dad that that's not what mom deserves. Mom doesn't deserve that. We use, I mean, if that's how much he was going to blow through her money in a matter of minutes. Do you understand what I'm saying though? But that's her son, baby, not the boy moms and their irresponsible sons, the fake heads of households. These are the people that are in these households where the girls are coming on here and lying to you and telling you that they're heading up the home. They don't have the skills to do that. The girls are lying. The girls are running the show. I was raised by a girl who ran a show. Lied. Constantly lying, these girls. I tried to tell you a while ago. They don't have the skills to show up as like fully fledged, fully functioning people because it's beaten out of them and they are like conditioned into being these like non-complete individuals, if you would like, and it hurts us at the end. Like it hurts once you become the elderly, like Wendy here. I've seen it with my parents as they're getting older. And the switch is happening so quickly for me, where it's like you are taking on a more responsible role, and they are you're now explaining the world to them. Their world has shrunk. That's what happens when you get older, right? And you are shielding them, taking more responsibility for them, down to things like, hey, don't believe everything you're reading on wherever. Those chain messages, please like ignore things like that. No, you can't invest in that. But what you have with a boy child instead is, and this one I've also seen a few times, when the mom is coming out of retirement, because we've also decided that like the faux leaders, we've decided that like things like money and like leadership qualities they don't have, but money as well, things like choosing a new car and things like that is like a skill that lives in the penis. A lot of mothers make this mistake of consulting their sons, and for me it's a little bit of denial because the little bitch has you raised. Okay, you know whether that's a good son or a bad son. There are sons who will advise their mothers to do or move in certain ways financially for their benefit. Like, don't get that car, get this car, because they know they want to drive that car and show up a certain way in the world. Because once I'm in the car, as the dude driving it, how do the bitches know it's my mom's car? The bitches don't know that. I've seen it. I've seen when mom comes into retirement and the money's come out and everybody's trying to advise each other, and already as a community the financial literacy is lacking and stuff. So it's so bizarre to me how your son, who's never been able to manage his weekly pocket money, is now all of a sudden the person you are going to be like, oh, what are your ideas? And then he go and say forex. Yeah, because they will use their parents' pension monies to fund their little weird like broski in like things that they've always wanted to do. Like, oh yeah, I can double it. Oh yeah, and the mothers are also so quick. They don't do it with their daughters. Very rarely will they take money and put into their daughters' business ideas that actually look viable. In fact, the daughters, we know not even to go to them with that idea of like, oh, I have this idea. The sons feel like they can. They can step up to their mom and say, I have this idea. And there's no real, nothing really tangible to say this could pan out. But that's her son, and financial literacy comes from the penis, and he knows what he's doing, and he will blow through his mama's money. He will. I've seen it especially with the cars, the retirement money. Why are you making your mom get a luxury car? What is the maintenance on such a vehicle? None of it makes sense. Those kinds of decisions happen when there's a son around because they don't have the teaching to be considerate. The heads of household. You all don't have to take my word for it. Just do what you want to do. Raise your sons how you want to raise them. You know, beat the compassion out of them, the kindness out of them, and then see how it serves you in future. I don't even understand the maths of it as to how does this serve you if a lot of you have these children as an extension of yourself, and it's who's going to take care of you when you're older? Not your son that you told not to be kind because that's not manly. Not your son who, when you saw him be like a little bit caring and a little bit whatever, you were like, yeah, you're gonna have to toughen up, son. Not him. Okay? Neither one of us is gonna get taken care of except one of us, usogidwe. Samiro. All right now. But you know what I'm saying? You guys know having a boy is my biggest fear, and this is the reason. This right here is the reason they get away with murder until the very last day. Being a boy is the best thing you could ever be. Do I enjoy being a woman? Yeah. Yeah. But like, wow, they worry about nothing. And we will continue or be expected to take care of them. Like right now, when his mom's money's like that, somewhere, somehow, he's still being taken care of. And she's in a situation where, as a grown person, she doesn't have access to the money that she's worked for her entire life. But you know, he had a dad in the home and stuff to show him exactly how to behave, and he's following suit. He really is. It's quite disappointing, but that is her son, and she will love him until like the bitter end. And we're not saying that she shouldn't and stuff. I wonder. I mean, by the way, her niece, her niece is the one fighting for her to get out of the situation. Her niece is the one who's constantly talking to the media, keeping people in the loop, trying to like get her help and get her out of the situation. Her niece, her son who got her in the situation. No, mm-mm. He's not doing any of that. That is not his job. He's sitting somewhere, and I bet you he's still thinking it's not him. That's another thing that they do. Never account for shit, right? Put a plate here, never put it where it's supposed to go in the sink. And whenever it's asked, who put this plate here? It's never them. It carries on. It just goes on and on. And oh God, can you tell I find them disgusting? Like, oh. If you have one that doesn't behave like those, girl, like, thank your lucky stars. Put it in your gratitude journal or whatever, baby, because the hands are reeling. The hands are building homes with Kevin's and Kevin Juniors. And that daddy was probably involved some way, somehow. Truly. And a lot of bloggers called it. The first time I heard it, and I saw, like, he was in the blogs a lot that time, Calvin. Like, I was like, We all saw it. We all saw it. Why? Because we are Wendy's children, and Wendy would have seen it. Right? Clap if you think Wendy would have seen. Do you understand what I'm saying? We would have seen it. Like, Wendy would have called it out if it was another person, so we saw it as well. But anyway, Udishang and teach them to be tough and like just the right shade of blue. They don't have it. They just simply don't have it. Like, a handful of them have it. And if they were to say, yeah, they don't have it, they'd be labeled simps for it. You all don't have to take my word for it. Just do what you want to do. Raise your sons how you want to raise them. You know, beat the compassion out of them, the kindness out of them, and then see how it serves you in future. I don't even understand the maths of it as to how does this serve you if a lot of you have these children as an extension of yourself, and it's who's going to take care of you when you're older? Not your son that you told not to be kind because that's not manly. Not your son who, when you saw him be like a little bit caring and a little bit whatever, you were like, yeah, you're gonna have to toughen up, son. Not him. Okay? Neither one of us is gonna get taken care of except one of us, usogidwe. Samiro. All right now. But you know what I'm saying? You guys know having a boy is my biggest fear, and this is the reason. This right here is the reason they get away with murder until the very last day. Being a boy is the best thing you could ever be. Do I enjoy being a woman? Yeah. Yeah. But like, wow, they worry about nothing. And we will continue or be expected to take care of them. Like right now, when his mom's money's like that, somewhere, somehow, he's still being taken care of. And she's in a situation where, as a grown person, she doesn't have access to the money that she's worked for her entire life. But he had a dad in the home and stuff to show him exactly how to behave, and he's following suit. He really is. It's quite disappointing, but that is her son, and she will love him until like the bitter end. And we're not saying that she shouldn't and stuff. I wonder. I mean, by the way, her niece, her niece is the one fighting for her to get out of the situation. Her niece is the one who's constantly talking to the media, keeping people in the loop, trying to like get her help and get her out of the situation. Her niece, her son who got her in the situation. No, mm-mm. He's not doing any of that. That is not his job. He's sitting somewhere, and I bet you he's still thinking it's not him. That's another thing that they do. Never account for shit, right? Put a plate here, never put it where it's supposed to go in the sink. And whenever it's asked who put this plate here, it's never them. It carries on. It just goes on and on. And oh God, can you tell I find them disgusting? Like, oh. If you have one that doesn't behave like those, girl, like, thank your lucky stars. Put it in your gratitude journal or whatever, baby, because the hands are reeling. The hands are building homes with Kevin's and Kevin Juniors. And that daddy was probably involved somewhere, somehow. Truly. And a lot of bloggers called it. The first time I heard it, and I saw, like, he was in the blogs a lot that time, Calvin. Like, I was like, We all saw it. We all saw it. Why? Because we are Wendy's children and Wendy would have seen it, right? Clap if you think Wendy would have seen. Do you understand what I'm saying? We would have seen it. Like Wendy would have called it out if it was another person, so we saw it as well. But anyway, Rudishang and teach them to be tough and like just the right shade of blue.